Commerce website. Average annual snowfall in Bend is 33.8 inches. I pulled this directly from their website. There's the link if you want to check it out. I also then went in and checked about 100 years worth of snowfall data tracked in Bend. We're going to analyze this later on in the class. I actually have it on data sheets. I'll give it to you guys next week. That's what it looks like. If you had to pick a word to describe that, we've learned a few new terms today. Bell-shaped, symmetric, skewed, bimodal or multimodal. If you had to pick one of those words to describe that data, what would you use to describe that data? Skewed. Skewed? Anybody say it's bell-shaped enough? Oh, Sean, you can vote for skewed. Vote for skewed. Anybody say it's bell-shaped enough? Nobody. Okay, that's okay if you did. A little skewed. Is it more or less skewed than that real estate data earlier? Less skewed? It appears to be, doesn't it? It appears to be more here and less tail out here. I didn't cut anything off. The most snow Ben's ever seen in a winter was, I believe it was 91, either 73 or 91. One of those years it got like 92 inches of snow or something like that. Exactly. Why didn't we get that this year? We got all our snow this year in one day. We're going to have a quiz built around that. I built a quiz around that. It was so great. I was shoveling the snow. I'm like, this would be so much fun for 243. So that was last term. We'll just carry it over for you guys, which I'm sure is not what you guys were thinking about shoveling snow that day. 25 inches, I think, at my house. 25 inches of snow in one day. Incredible. Incredible. Now, there was some snow believe it or not, there was some snow in December. I think it summed up to about 10 total inches over the course. So this would be a 35-inch year so far, assuming we don't get any more, which is, it's bad if we might. So we actually fall pretty close to average this year. But my point about this is, that might be a bit high of a figure based on this graph. Because remember, balancing the cookies on your finger, because of these extreme values, I'm calling them extreme, generally extreme, not necessarily outlierish, outlandishly, ridiculously high, but the average is going to go to those high numbers. So you might actually be getting a little bit of a high value for average. When you look down here, it looks like roughly, 60% of the years are less than 30 inches of snow. So maybe when you think about like medians and modes and things like that, maybe a median would be a better measure to use than an average. Now, it also assumes people understand what a median is. I think people understand what average is, at least on a very basic level, but they might not know what a median is on a basic level. So maybe that's the reason we use average. Zach, go ahead.
I guess what's confusing for me is, are you talking about the units of the snowflakes, or so you're talking about 10 inches?
No. Number of years with that much snow. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 winters had between 0 and 10 inches of snow. So I don't know what years they were, but that's what had happened. Well, actually, we're going to analyze it more carefully in class. I have the whole data set for you to play with. Does that make sense? Yep. So it looks like about maybe 16, 17 had between 10 and 20 and so forth. So you could find the average, yes, and I've checked them. It's correct. You would do 10 times 5 plus whatever this is, 19 times 15, 20 times 25. See what I'm doing here, friends? Add all that up and divide by how many years there were. 33.8. It checks. It checks. I'm just saying maybe we shouldn't use it. Maybe we should say it's something like a little bit below 30 inches or something like that. And somebody might say, who cares? You're bickering about 5 inches. Okay, let's not care. Let's just let Bend Chamber of Commerce do that. While we're talking about Bend, though, remember they also say this. Bend averages 370 days a year. So does Tucson, Arizona. So does Phoenix, Arizona. So does Sedona, Arizona. So I believe does San Diego, California. I know San Francisco doesn't. They have 300 days of mist a year. Many towns boast 300 sunny days a year. There, right there. That's the quote on their website. I challenge you to find the number 300 in that quote. Bend has the highest average number of sunny days in the state. Clear days average 158 days per year.
Oh, in this state?
With an additional 105 days that are mostly sunny. Many of the remaining days provide substantial sunshine. Days that are totally cloudy not often occur. Any problem with that statement? And you might not have any problem with it, and that's totally fine. I've got loads of problems with it. That's just me. Not me.
Where's 300?
And where's 300? I think I found it.
Average.
Ish. 158-day average, clear, right? Sunny days. 105 that are mostly sunny. Together, that's 260-ish. Many of the remaining days, so of the 260 is about 100 days left. Many of those So let's call 50 of those. 50 plus 260, 310, done. There's your 300. I also think it means absolutely nothing. There's your 300, Kelly. There's 300 to me.
Yeah.
Here's why I think it's meaningless. Highest average number of sunny days in the state. Okay, is that per city? Do we break that down per city? I'm assuming they did. But maybe there's a plot of land somewhere that gets more sun. They should put solar panels there too, I'm guessing, right? Does Madras have fewer sunny days than Bend? I fail to believe that Madras has fewer sunny days than Bend because it's further away from the mountains. Therefore, it's more in that shadow. I would guess. I've never seen Madras Chamber of Commerce sites, I don't know. Clear days average 158. Okay, that's a number, right? 158. So somebody's counting, right? What are they counting?
Are they counting like the whole day, part
What's
of the
the
day?
question that you have to ask right now?
How do you define sunny days?
Define sunny. Define clear. Define mostly sunny.
Substantial.
Define substantial. Does that mean more than half of the day? That's my favorite word out of all of them because I think substantial you could say more than half the day. But I mean, is somebody like sitting there going, yeah? No, yeah. How are you measuring this, right? What is a sunny day? You ever heard of a summer hole? You're out in the mountain skiing, and it's nuking. You're up top of Tumalo and just getting nuked on. All of a sudden, woo! Clouds part, a ray of sunshine gives you hope. Maybe I'll get down. Maybe I'll get down without frostbite. And then it sucks back up again. Count it as a sunny day? I don't know. If you wait long enough on any day in Bend, chances are the sun's going to pop through the clouds at some point. Enough to warm your face and give you hope, and it's going to close the month of February this year. Did the sun come out at all? I'm pretty sure, or was it March? What was the month it rained? I think it was March. It rained all month. But there was like every day, there was a day when the rain would stop, it would part for like 5 minutes, oh, suck back up again. Do you count that? I don't know. I don't know what mostly means. I don't know what clear is. It's all about definitions, right? Defining the terms. It's so important to define the terms and to define them well. Make sense? Good, good. I'll leave you with this one. One of my favorite quotes. There are a number of quotes that I love about averages and centers. Our man George Carlin, rest in peace, should have run for president or at least Congress. I miss this guy dearly, daily. One of my favorite comedians of all time. He's actually wrong in the statement, isn't he? You'd have to use the word median to be correct. But that's not as funny, because Americans know what average is, they don't know what median is. You see why it had to be median to be technically correct? Median actually does talk about the half below and half above. I miss him dearly. He used to use mathematics quite well in his acts, quite well. This is one example. Some other of my favorites, if you stick your feet in the fridge and your head in the oven, on average you feel fine. Worst joke ever. 3 statisticians go hunting in the woods for bear hunting. First one jumps up, takes a shot, sees a bear. Jumps up, takes a shot, misses 5 feet to the left. Second one jumps up, takes a shot, misses 5 feet to the right. Third one jumps up, we got him! Worst math joke ever. Perfect example of that. Tell it to your friends tonight. And they'll be like, what the hell? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So, at any rate, you got to be careful using averages. You want to be careful. These are egregiously silly cases, of course. But you know, average snowfall. What reports have you heard about, speaking of snowfall, about the snowpack in the Cascades this year?
Below average.
Below average. It was woefully below average, and then all of a sudden, somewhere between February and March, it went to like 80 or 90% of average. So I don't know what the hell happened. I'm guessing when it was snowing or when it was raining in town over that month of March, it was nuking up in the hills and making up for that. Should you talk about average for snowfall? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I mean, my default answer is no. Look at the shape of the historical data and see if you should. Maybe you should talk about mode or median. Maybe it's bimodal. Maybe it's cyclical based on time. Haven't even talked about that yet. We haven't talked about time cyclicality. We will. I promise we will. I don't want to do too much at once. It seems counterproductive. But sometimes averages change with time. They'll rise and set. Oh, let me show you one of my favorite data sets. I'll kick you out of here. Here's a great example of that. The phrase global warming, ring a bell with anybody? Mauna Loa Observatory. I think I spelled that wrong. I did. There it is. Boom, didn't even need to. These are CO2 levels measured at the Mauna Loa Observatory. This isn't the full data set, it's only partial. From 1990 to 2008, they've actually been tracking it back since the 60s, I believe. So, why do we care about CO2? Why is CO2 measured?